Thank you so much for joining me. I know you have lots of information coming at you, but now we're going to talk about the fun stuff. We're going to talk about the food. Let me start by saying I feel so honored that you're sitting here right now. It is gorgeous outside and you could be at the beach, so I better make this good. It can be really overwhelming hearing all of the medical jargon and technology, and in theory, everything that you hear about the low carbohydrate lifestyle and ketogenic diet and fasting, it makes sense. But when the rubber meets the road and it's time to eat, some people panic. You're here today meeting with us and continuing to be part of this group, and I'm going to help you through that. Think of the time when you were standing in front of the kitchen cabinets, or maybe when your tummy is grumbling while you're sitting at your desk and you've got some decisions to make. How about getting this question? I get it all the time. Mom, honey, what's for dinner? I'm here to help you answer those questions and to not panic. Okay, there we go. So my goal for today is to help you rethink how easy low carbohydrate meals can be for you and your family, and maybe even if you have people that you work with, maybe your patients. I'm going to give you some easy steps for success in the kitchen and in your low carbohydrate lifestyle. I hope to inspire you to have fun in the kitchen and to create low carb, delicious food for you and your family. My name is Kellie Logsdon, and I grew up in the quintessential Southern California setting. I was born and raised and still live in Santa Monica, California. I spent most of my childhood going to the beach, skateboarding with my neighborhood gang, and playing volleyball. A little side note, I played Division I women's collegiate volleyball as a scholarship athlete for the University of San Diego. I'm a mom of two amazing daughters, aged 17 and 20. I have a certification in holistic health and nutrition counseling from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I am a self-taught cook, and I derive most of my low-carb lifestyle information from the internet, from all of the speakers at LowCarbUSA, and from just self-taught. I'm the founder and creator of thekellykitchen.com, where I develop and share low-carb, high-fat recipes. I also share my story through roller coaster dieting, illness, and back to full health. You can find many of the recipes that you'll see here today on my website. So as I said, I grew up in Southern California during the diet and fitness industry boom. All through the 70s and 80s, during the age of fad diets, tab soda, and Jane Fonda workouts. I think everyone was on a quest to be super healthy. It was 1977 and the US government released their recommended dietary guidelines. We were urged to cut the fat and up the whole grains. Our family, being healthy and athletic and educated, we cut all the fat from our house. We went straight for the royal skinless chicken, the plain rice cakes, and fat-free everything. If it had fat in it, consider it enemy number one. Our family took health and sport very seriously. I played competitive volleyball and paddle tennis from the age of 9. The message we received was that your health was how fit you were and how thin you were. My vision of a healthy woman my vision of a healthy woman was to be one of the Charlie's Angels. Those women who were effortlessly beautiful and thin and very active, and I wanted to be one of them. Who remembers Susan Powter? The early 90s were the age of Susan Powter and her mantra, "Stop the insanity." She clearly was not the voice of reason. We heard over and over that if we ate fat, we would get fat. Unfortunately, I was always hungry, and I was fat. Soon, we were well into the early 2000s, and I have been on more diets than I care to remember. At one point, I even asked my gynecologist for help losing weight. He was quick to prescribe a diet pill. It made me lightheaded, irritable, and sick, but I lost 30 pounds. Why was I taking health advice from these people? I was trying to get healthy, but it was not healthy. I was on a mission, though. I was going to figure this thing out. I was going to follow doctor's orders. and the medical dogma of calories in, calories out. They said eat less and exercise more. So I weighed and measured everything. I hit the gym aggressively, and everything I ate was fat-free and flavorless. I tried Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Slim Fast, etc. Anything to control my calorie intake. Snackwell's fat-free Devil's Food cookies and 99% fat-free ground turkey were staples in my freezer. I loved watching season after season of The Biggest Loser. It was so aggressive and such a transformation. The angry and abusive trainers were totally over the top, but I knew that that never was going to work for me. For 3 decades, I ranged in weight from 125 pounds to 204 pounds, trying to follow the US government health guidelines. But I wasn't getting healthy. I was really confused, so I decided to go to nutrition school. During that time, earning my certification in holistic health, I tried everything from being a vegan to no stone fruit, to no nightshades, gluten-free, checking my alkaline levels, meditation, sleep therapy, writing workshops, Bikram yoga, half marathons. But it was still a roller coaster. And then I got sick. I had my first bout of diverticulitis in my mid-30s. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's a really horrible infection in your gut. For the next decade, I had 7 more bouts of diverticulitis. My stomach hurt all the time. I had a very unhappy colon, so they took it out. Okay, they didn't take it all out, but they took about a foot of my colon out. For 4 months after surgery, I suffered various mystery illnesses and ailments in and out of the hospital. I ultimately contracted C. diff, just another disgusting infection, and after being given 10 or so rounds of antibiotics and subsisting on gallons of rainbow jello, I may have been C. diff free, but I was still suffering from chronic urinary tract infections and recurring yeast infections. I do have to give my doctors credit because they really were trying. There was not a malicious bone in their body, but never once was it suggested that I change my diet. So, no one could tell me what to eat, but then I stumbled across someone who told me to eat nothing. Dr. Jason Fung came into my life by way of his book, The Obesity Code, in January of 2017. Who here has read Dr. Jason Fung? If you haven't, check it out. It's amazing. I knew it sounded absolutely bonkers to skip meals, but I was desperate, so I tried it. Everything I had ever learned about healthy food was turned on its head. Just because a box of Honey Nut Cheerios was stamped with the approval from the American Heart Association did not mean it was healthy. All the manufactured processed foods, along with the fruit, the oatmeal, and the fat-free yogurt, are causing all the problems. I started out small by skipping breakfast, and it wasn't so hard. I would eat a very hearty dinner, so why would I be hungry the next morning? Once I got over the idea that I didn't need to eat all day long, I started to focus on what I could eat. I knew that yeast and gut issues were only exacerbated by sugar consumption, so I started learning about cutting out all the sugar. Next, the meal planning and cooking came in earnest for me. Low carb and intermittent fasting was my e-ticket to health, and this way of eating became my life and my savior. My first real experience with cooking came as a newlywed in the late 1990s. I had a really tiny, crappy kitchen, 1 skillet and a box of meat helper. Anyone else rely on hamburger helper to get dinner on the table fast? I had 2 small children and a husband that needed to be fed several times a day. I took many cooking classes, watched the Food Network ad nauseum, and I practiced. There were many garbage can worthy meals in my kitchen. And if you don't believe me, ask my children and my ex-husband, they can vouch for me. But I had to start somewhere, and as you embark on this low-carb cooking journey, it won't be perfect every time. Start simple. No one is expecting you to be Martha Stewart, and Gordon Ramsay is not going to show up in your kitchen and start judging you. Do you want to know the number one thing that I get asked when friends or family get started on the low-carb lifestyle? Can I drink alcohol? Just kidding. That's up there. That's up there. The number one thing that comes out of people's mouths when they start on this journey is, what can I eat? People panic. And they get bored of eating the same things every day. And people love their bread, pasta, pizza, cakes, and cookies. Oh my God, I can never eat bread again. What do you mean I can't eat fruit? I'm going on vacation, I have to eat whatever they serve me. I'm telling you right now, don't panic. No one ever said you can never have those carby things again. Of course, you shouldn't. But just the thought of never having a slice of birthday cake ever again makes me want to eat the whole cake. I ask you to consider this. Can I eat this low-carb way just for today? What meals can I plan just for today that do not involve bread, pasta, cookies, cakes, and sugary drinks? Low-carb options are limitless. This is a lifestyle. You switch your habits so that your low-carb food choices are automatic. Just as if someone was to serve you a plate of poison, what would your automatic reaction be? If someone served you a plate of poison, you would think that they're crazy. You would send it away. You don't eat poison, you send it back. Instead of panic, think of all the wonderful, wonderful things you can eat, like steak, and butter, and cheese, and vegetables, and dark meat chicken, and ribs, and mayonnaise, and nuts, and nut butters, and bacon. Hello! All the things that I was never allowed to eat. Now I can have them. And now you can have them too. You're welcome. It seems like such witchcraft, doesn't it? To be able to eat all those delicious foods and still be healthy? I call it magic. So we're going to rethink your priorities. One of the main parts of having great health is to get clear on what is important to you. When you are crystal clear on your goals, the decision-making process is seamless. You see, there are only so many minutes in each day to be spent making these decisions. You have limited brain power and time to spend on all these decisions throughout the day. Steve Jobs famously wore the same thing every day. Mark Zuckerberg does the exact same thing. They reduce their decisions so that they make throughout the day so that they can free their brain power for more important things. Get clear on your priorities and where you choose to spend your brain power. If health is your priority, you will make time for it. Cooking at home for yourself and for your family are one of the greatest gifts you can give to your health. No time for cooking, you say? It takes the same or less time and definitely less money to cook at home than it does to eat out. Who here spends every day hitting the gym? It takes a lot of time, and I don't want to detract from it, but that's why I love Jeff and Dr. Ben, because you can do your 15-minute workout and get a lot in. Might I suggest, while you are at the gym, pulling out your crock pot or your Instant Pot to get those items working for you. If you spend precious minutes traveling to and from the gym, and you spend an hour running on the treadmill, you need your gadgets at home working for you. My idea of a workout is putting your dinner in the oven and going for a walk, or possibly having a dance party in the kitchen. I do get to the gym, I just don't spend 2 hours at the gym every single day. One of the most important things is just prioritizing and planning and cooking for your health is actually, you have more time in the day and less decisions to make. Oops, can I this one? Oh, that's my Instant Pot. I wanted to show you that. So we're going to focus on a few things. I am not a calculator. I've never been a stickler for exact numbers and macros, except for when If I had to be perfect and exact on what I ate throughout the day, I would tailspin. Does anybody remember the time when I think it was Joy Behar on national television was telling you to eat just 100 less calories a day? I don't know what 100 less calories is. You mean I just have to eat 100 less a day and then I'm healthy? I can't be calculating that. That's too much brain power for me. It's absolutely exhausting for me to think about having to count or track anything. If you're a former or current Weight Watcher here, the numbers can be very helpful for you, but I'm telling you that if you feel bogged down by calculating numbers all the time, it might not be absolutely necessary. Some people feel safe with tracking their numbers, not me. My experience has always been that when I get in tune with my hunger and I eat the right foods that are satiating and satisfying, I can pretty much regulate my food intake. When I have a general idea of portion and macronutrients, I'm all good. That's me calculating, I pull my hair out. With that said, it's important to focus on a few things, like being fully aware of your carb intake and hitting your protein goal. It's also important to keep your fat intake on the high side. Quality fat intake is key. But that does not mean that eating fat bombs all day are totally necessary. If you have fat to lose on your body, but you're eating fat bombs and drinking butter coffee, then you don't give your body a chance to tap into those fat stores. Adequate hydration is also another element of great overall health. I don't count how many ounces I drink, but if I have water throughout the day, because I'm not drinking any sugary sodas or any other drinks, then I'm all good. Plus, I don't want to be spending half my day in the bathroom. Kitchen setup. I have a tiny kitchen. I think I've told a few of you, if you ever want to see me cook in my kitchen, I have a Monday night live show, and you can see that there is nothing fancy. I have about this much space in my kitchen. My oven does not even take a full-size cookie sheet, and I cook Thanksgiving dinner for 12. So let's talk about kitchen setup. This may be more of a question for the ladies in the room, but do you ever look into your closet full of clothes and think, I have nothing to wear? When there's clutter and junk in your fridge, then nothing seems appealing. The same goes for your kitchen pantry and your freezer. That's my refrigerator. The very first thing is to that's not my freezer, but that's my refrigerator. The very first thing to do is clean out your fridge so we know what we're dealing with. Women, treat your refrigerator as though you were lining up really expensive shoes. Men, act like you're lining up vintage cars in the garage. This is precious real estate that we're talking about, and quality food is special, and it can be expensive. Let's treat it that way. You don't need to have all the fancy gadgets and kitchen appliances. Remember, I have a tiny kitchen. Actually, I have a very simple kitchen, and it just has a way better view because I'm looking at the Pacific Ocean. You don't need marble countertops or Viking range. You can cook just as well in a simple kitchen as you can in a $1 million kitchen. With that said, I highly recommend a quality chef knife, a nice sized skillet, and an Instant Pot. As long as I have those three items, I can pretty much work magic to get dinner on the table. Stock your spice rack and your pantry shelves with essentials. You may not use thyme or almond flour or coconut oil all the time, but they have somewhat of a good stable shelf life. And stock your freezer with quality meats. Again, you can buy that in bulk to save on cost. I use ButcherBox. It's a monthly or quarterly subscription, and they can stay there a while, so you're not always running to the store to refill and buy expensive meats. Produce and dairy and eggs are on constant rotation in my fridge, and I shop for those about every 2 weeks. When you create a place for everything and put everything in its place, you can save precious minutes and brain power on this process. Baby steps. Whether you're a beginner in the kitchen, sorry about that. There's all my yummy food. Baby steps. Whether you're a beginner in the kitchen, someone that eats out for every single meal, or you're a 3-star Michelin chef, I find that most success in maintaining a low-carb lifestyle in the beginning comes with keeping your food choices basic. Pick a protein, pick a fat, and pick a green vegetable. Steak, broccoli, salt, and butter. Bam, there's your meal. Scrambled eggs, a little bit of cheese, and some avocado and salt. Bam, easy meal. Salad, chicken, cheese with a little salt and olive oil. Easy. There is no shame in eating the same thing over and over again. I'm going to show you my Instant Pot again. One of the food items that is in my meal plan every week is my basic chicken salad. Once a week, I make a rotisserie chicken that goes into my basic chicken salad. There's my rotisserie chicken, and those are the ingredients there. There's no judgment here. If you want to get your rotisserie chicken from Costco or the supermarket, I am all for that. You do not have to make your own rotisserie chicken. I would prefer that you buy the best quality chicken and that you make it on your own, but this is real life. If you need to get it from the supermarket, get it from the supermarket. Get it already made. There's no judgment here. We just want to move in that direction. Add some mayonnaise, add some celery, some onions, some pepper, easy peasy. If you get sick of chicken salad, make egg salad, make tuna salad. Eat it as a scoop alone, over a bed of greens, or with a slice of cheese and some avocado. Soups and chilies were and still are a game changer for me and our family. I always double or triple the batch, and I freeze some for later. None of you follow me on social yet, but if you want to, the Kellie Kitchen is all of my social, and just this morning I posted the most amazing pumpkin and sausage soup, and I made like 3 batches of it, and it's super hot for pumpkin season, but it's absolutely delicious, so you would have seen that this morning. I keep it in the refrigerator because it's easy to pull out. Bam, I add a salad and I've got a meal quick and ready right there. I have a few different levels of planning that take place with our meals. If you follow me on any of my social at the Kellie Kitchen, it may seem like I am always in the kitchen. Believe it or not, I actually do not cook every day. I have a full-time corporate job. I work 40 to 50 hours a week. I created thekelliekitchen.com in my free time, where I develop all these low-carb recipes. I write about them, I take pictures of them. I have 2 children, I have 2 cats, I have a family, I have a home, I have an adorable boyfriend, that all these things require my attention. So I don't cook all day, I just plan for it. I love to cook, but I have many obligations, and I know you guys do too. So I don't always have the time, but I do plan for it. Planning does not have to be an elaborate spreadsheet or another thing that you have to create. This is what my planning looks like. On a macro level, I ask myself, what do I feel like eating this week? Because I'm doing all the cooking. And I also ask myself, what do I feel? What's in season? And do I feel like eating Mexican, Chinese, Thai, barbecue, Indian, Italian, American? Those are the first questions that is sort of on a macro level that I ask myself. The next the next step that I go to is I shop my fridge and my pantry and my freezer. What do I have that I need to use that I can pull a few things together? I always have ground beef in my freezer. I could make any variation of ground beef tacos you can ever imagine. The next level is ask your family what they feel like eating and assess everyone's schedule. There's no business cooking if nobody is going to be home. And if nobody is going to eat that, then you don't have to cook for them. The only reason that you would be cooking and nobody's eating is if you want to freeze it and save it for later. You want to have a general idea for the week or the month of what you feel like eating and when you might need it. Then you find your staples. What are your go-tos? What are the things that you can make in your sleep that everyone at the dinner table likes and will eat? Find those low-carb meals and make them over and over again. Make double of them and freeze them for later. In my house, on constant rotation, are soups, salads, casseroles, and taco night. We'll talk about taco night in a minute. When you have the time or you start to get bored with your same old stuff in your rotation, and when you're feeling a little bit of interest, then it's time to try something new. One of the reasons that I've had success is that I'm constantly expanding my options. I'll see something on Pinterest or Instagram, and I'll think, that looks really good. Bet I can make that low carb. Those pigs in a blanket are made with fathead dough. If you don't know what fathead dough is, come talk to me later, because it'll change your life. Those waffles are made with zucchini. So I experiment, and if whatever I experiment is a winner, then it gets added to the rotation. By the way, those pigs in a blanket I make and I freeze them, and I have them in the freezer for ready-made meals. I pop them in the microwave, or I just pop them in a Ziploc bag frozen and take them to work, and by the time I get there, they're thawed. I don't even have to actually eat them because they've already been frozen. It is a family affair. I must interject here that my health is my responsibility. The only time that anyone else's health is your responsibility is when you have minor children, and then they eat what you feed them. If health is important to everyone in your family, then everyone needs to get on board with the process. It is a team effort. Not everyone has to cook, but there are many jobs to be had. As it happens, I love to cook, I love to plan it, I love to cook it, but I loathe emptying the dishwasher. Who plans the meals, who shops for the meals, who pays for the food, who lugs it all home, who puts it away, who cooks it, who packs the leftovers, who cleans all the dirty dishes, and who empties the dishwasher? Not me on the dishwasher. When everyone has skin in the game, then they're invested and it's a team effort. There's your happy little family. I know it sounds harsh, but if they're not on the team, then they can fend for themselves. Seriously, they need to get their own food, and they need to clean it up all too. Yeah. Not fair for them to do that to you. That includes if they don't like what you're serving for them. That's too bad. There are no short order cooks allowed. Lastly, when the kitchen is closed, it's closed for the night. If we eat a lovely, low-carb, fat-filled meal, then you should be satiated. And there's no need to head back to the kitchen to search the pantry for a snack. Breakfast options. Because I intermittent fast almost every day, I don't break my fast until around noon, but there are many options if breakfast is your thing. There are egg recipes galore, but my favorite I learned from an adult film star. Don't worry, I'm keeping this talk PG, so I won't discuss her, but it's called the Bomblet, and it's over there on the left-hand side. It's 2 ounces of cheese in a nonstick skillet. Create a crispy shell. You crack 2 eggs right on top of that, and you put a lid on that, and then you slide it right on top of some greens and some avocado with some salt. Sometimes I add some sun-dried tomatoes, and it is a meal. Make ahead low-carb muffins that I keep in my freezer. Quiche in every variation that I keep in my freezer. Or the newest craze, chaffles. If you've ever heard of chaffles, it's a variation on cheese waffles. I'll have a recipe on that next week. Those all can be stored in the freezer for great grab-and-go meals. Did you know that you can make scrambled eggs in the microwave? You can just crack a couple eggs in a microwave-safe cup, microwave it for a couple of maybe 30 seconds, stir it around, do it again, maybe 2 or 3 sessions, and ta-da, you've got scrambled eggs. Black coffee with heavy cream is also a great option for breakfast. It's easy and on the go. When you get sick of eggs, try some full-fat Greek yogurt with some berries, or a nut milkshake, or what about leftovers? Whoever said you can't have a cheeseburger casserole for breakfast? Lunch and dinner options. The weekends are my time to batch cook. I sometimes have the oven and slow cooker and the Instant Pot all going at the same time, depending on what is on the meal plan for the week and what is in season. I could be steaming a dozen eggs in the Instant Pot, baking 2 pounds of bacon in the oven, chopping various vegetables, and have it all done within an hour. just show my Instant Pot again because I love it. I use my Instant Pot every week to make about 4 pounds of rotisserie chicken to be used in my basic chicken salad, but I also use it to make my chicken enchiladas, casseroles, and soups. So those are my chicken enchiladas, and that's a pesto salmon, and that's a cheeseburger salad. Even though I love to cook and bake, I do not do it every day because I batch cook. When you cook once for several meals, and it's almost like having a restaurant in your own refrigerator. Pickle rolls are also one of the easiest, greatest lunch options. You just take deli meat, you pat it dry a little bit, you line it up, you smear it with some whipped cream cheese, you line it with some pickle spears, and whatever else you want to do, whatever else you want to put in there, avocado, or some other, I put some pepper jack cheese, you roll it up like sushi, and then you slice it. That is called a pickle roll. I use any kind of deli meat for that. Pastrami, turkey, nothing with added sugars or nitrates. Taco night. Who doesn't love a taco night? The variations are endless, and you don't have to limit yourself to only Mexican seasoned tacos. What about Asian lettuce wraps or Thai peanut and bacon wraps? We have taco night about once a week, but it's never the same. I've got chicken, ground beef, shredded pork, switch up the cheeses and the sauces too. The #1 recipe that I have on my website, believe it or not, is for my keto tortillas. I've had over 250,000 page views on that in just the last quarter. I use it to make my enchiladas, and there's only 3 ingredients in it. It is laborious. It takes a while to make them, but they only have 1 carb. I use coconut flour and egg whites. To me, they're really simple to make. It's basically egg whites and coconut flour, a little bit of technique, and time. Not everyone has the time or wants to make those. There are low-carb tortilla options at your supermarket. It wouldn't be my first choice, but if it's going to be a barrier to entry, then I say go for it. There are 6 grams carbs of tortilla. There are 3-gram carb tortillas. There are lots of options, and if those are going to be a bridge to full compliance, then I say take that. Sometimes you don't even need a tortilla. You can just have it, as like a taco salad. Let's talk desserts, because those are always fun. Are they necessary or unnecessary? Necessary. It can be argued both ways. I am constantly baking because it brings me joy, and most of my desserts can be frozen. It's kind of nice to have something a little sweet from time to time, and because as low carbers, we have retrained our palates to be without sugar, just a little bit of sweet can go a long way. That's my chocolate almond crunch. Baking low carb does require some specialty ingredients, and they can be expensive and hard to find at your local supermarket. You're starting to see them more at the local supermarket, but that's another reason why you won't be making them all the time or eating them all the time. I like to buy most of my stuff, most of my baking ingredients online from Amazon, Thrive Market, or directly from the manufacturer. I buy a lot of extracts that way too. I don't eat bananas anymore because one banana has 30 carbs in it. But banana extract makes a great banana bread, and I get the flavor of the banana if I need it. There are so many options that don't actually make it to the supermarket, but they help me get the flavors, like that banana. I've got a great pina colada popsicle or banana nut muffins. I think most seasoned veterans and the medical community would agree that if a low-carb option of a dessert is going to help you with long-term compliance, then it can be a wonderful bridge from the standard American diet to go completely low-carb and ketogenic. It goes without saying that the desserts are really pretty to look at too, but I don't eat them every night. I made the mistake early on in my low-carb journey of thinking that if it was a low-carb or keto-friendly food option, that I could just eat as much as I wanted of it. And I could eat it freely and without care of quantity. Even if I was only eating to satiety, the carbs quietly crept up on me. Much to my surprise, my pants started to get too tight. Instead of panicking, I took a step back to really assess what was going into my mouth, and I realized that I had fallen into the trap. I call it the carb creep. Just because something is low carb does not make it a free food. Nuts, dairy, and keto comfort foods all still have carbs. Don't get sucked into the trap because it all adds up. Those are my peanut butter and chocolate chip cookies and my strawberry and cream popsicles and my low carb lemon loaf. Did you know that a slice of lemon loaf from Starbucks is over 60 grams of carbs? And my lemon loaf is only 5. Eating out. Going out to eat can be a tricky venture, but don't despair. My steadfast rules at any restaurant are this. Number 1, which you all know, skip the bread basket and the chip basket. You can just send them on by. Number 2, restaurants are in the business to serve you. They want to make money and they want to please you. Ask for what you want and don't feel like you have to go directly off the menu. I'm the biggest pain in the neck when I go to a restaurant. Number 3, there is always an option. The majority of restaurants, I would say 99% of restaurants have eggs and cheese and beans and vegetables. From Denny's to a 5-star hotel, you can tell them what you want to eat. Number 4, meat plus fat plus vegetables equals success. If you've had a bad experience or they slipped sugar in a sauce, just remember that it's only one meal. Next time you will know better and you will do better. So don't beat yourself up if you ate a restaurant meal and you realize that your blood sugar spiked or that it had way more carbs than you thought. It's only one meal. Start again tomorrow. Common mistakes, one of the greatest lines that runs a loop in my head and I also hear in my favorite podcast, Low Carb MD. Seek progress, not perfection. The constant exploration of improvement or tweaking my ways is a driver for me. If something is not working, it's time to explore what's off. If I have to ask myself, how can I improve this process or streamline the procedure to make it an effortless habit? Something I hear frequently is that someone has gone keto for a full month and they haven't lost a pound. And only to inquire more deeply to find out that their favorite salad dressing is filled with hidden sugar, or that they were snacking on nuts all day long. Another common mistake is loading up on fats when you actually have a lot of fat to lose. You don't need fat bombs and butter in your coffee all day long when you have fats to lose. You need to have adequate amount of fat in your diet for satiety, but if you have fat to lose, let your body feed on the fat that you're storing. I get asked almost on a daily basis to be hired to go into individuals' kitchens to clean out their refrigerators and to help them cook or deliver food. Believe me when I tell you how much I would love to be able to do this, but there is just no time for me to go around. I have found that the most success from people that have owned their own journey. They commit to adopting a new low-carb habits for themselves. They join support groups like this and online. They may not be a gourmet chef, but they try every day to be a little bit better. There are so many resources available. Some are free and others have a fee. This is an individual journey that you must own for yourself. Your health is your own responsibility, and I truly believe that health starts in the kitchen. Thank you.
Does anybody have questions for Kellie?
Yeah, Yes, you can, but do not microwave them. Do not fry them. No, they don't make chips. Sorry. But you can freeze them and then bring them up to room temperature and use them for enchiladas, or I use them sometimes for lasagna also. I use deli meat, plain sort of chicken or turkey deli meat for my lasagna noodles. That's Maria Emmerich's great protein lasagna. I use that too. Yeah. Yes?
How do you get your chicken brown in the Instant Pot?
I put it on saute first. So I line the bottom, just in the regular pot. I drizzle 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil, either avocado because it has a high smoke point, or olive oil. I generously season the skin, and then I do it skin side down first for about, and I have to do it in batches because I use bone-in, skin-on chicken, and I do it skin side down in batches because I can't fit it all in there at the same time. And so I brown it on both sides for a few minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. I take it out, and then I do another batch. And then when all of my skin is browned, then I put the trivet in with a half a cup of water, and I put all the chicken back on, and it's 25 minutes. And then when I slow release it, I let it sit there for about an hour. So it continues to cook, because I do it like either on a Sunday afternoon or on Monday nights when I'm doing my cooking live for an hour. I'll just get my Instant Pot going and have it, after dinner and after everything's cleaned up, then the chicken is ready, and sometimes I'll just put it right into the refrigerator I'll take the liner out of the pot, and I'll take that pot, I'll cover it with some tin foil because I'm too tired to make my chicken salad, or I'm not ready to use it yet. I'll just put it right into my fridge until the next day when I can just pull the bones out of it and make it into whatever I want to make it into. Yeah.
We may have talked about this already, but I probably missed it. So do you prep all your meals on Sunday for the entire week?
It depends on what my family's doing. And so if they are busy, or if they don't want to have what I'm making, it really depends on everybody's schedule. It also, because I work full time, and sometimes I have meetings late on Monday nights, or I do a lot of it on Sunday afternoons. But sometimes while I'm making dinner on a Tuesday night, and I know that I've got the oven going for an hour and I'm baking something or whatever, I will, at that point, be like, well, I'm here anyways, let me just make some soup. And I'll have the soup going, and then I'll package that all up, and then I'll also look into my fridge and think to myself, ooh, I gotta use those portobello mushrooms pretty soon, or I've gotta do something with those blueberries pretty soon, or, oh, there's a huge bag of carrots in the back of my fridge. I don't use carrots very often. And I'm like, carrots, feta cheese. Yeah, let's make a carrot feta soup. And I'll just, I'll think about the things that I have to use. So because I always have things ready, my planning isn't just for this week. My planning is sort of macro level. If I'm in a scramble, I'm like, okay, what can I have for lunch right now? Oh, I already have my chicken salad in the fridge right now, and I grab an avocado, and just that's what or I'll grab a frozen soup from the freezer, and I'll bring that to work, not insulated or anything like that, and I'll just let it thaw in the 3 or 4 hours before it's time for lunch. Yes?
Are you on Twitter?
No, I am. It's the Kellie Kitsch on Twitter, but everything else, I only have so much bandwidth. I've got Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, yeah, and my website, thekellykitsch.com. Any other questions? I should have brought some samples. I wasn't thinking.